Captain Elias Ward had never seen anything like the Lumerian homeworld before. From the observation deck of the starship Aegis, he could see a vast planet bathed in shades of violet and gold. Its oceans shimmered like liquid crystal, and the clouds moved in patterns so intricate they looked like living artwork. For centuries, humanity had dreamed of first contact with another intelligent species, and now Elias was living that dream. The Aegis had been chosen for its advanced diplomacy technology, and human scientists aboard, all trained to work closely with alien species. The Lumerians themselves were taller than humans, with slender frames, translucent skin, and luminous eyes that seemed to reflect the light of the stars. They had long, flowing hair that moved as if underwater, and their movements carried a graceful rhythm that humans struggled to imitate. Elias adjusted his uniform and glanced around the observation deck. His team of diplomats, scientists, and engineers was quietly buzzing with excitement and nervous anticipation. The moment of first contact was always tense. Humans had faced unknown dangers in deep space, but meeting a completely alien intelligence carried risks that no one could fully calculate. "We'll be landing in 40 minutes, said Lieutenant Mara Chen, Elias's second-in-command. Her eyes were fixed on the holographic display showing the landing site, a city that glimmered like silver under a violet sky. "The Lumerians have invited us to their capital. Protocol suggests we proceed with extreme caution. They are advanced in ways we might not understand." Elias nodded. "I know, but that's why we're here. To learn. To show that humans can be more than explorers and soldiers. We can be partners, allies, friends. Let's hope they see that too." As the Aegis descended, the city grew larger in view. Towering spires rose from the ground like organic structures, their surfaces smooth and reflective. Bridges made of light-connected buildings and vehicles floated silently above the streets. Elias could see Lumerians moving in groups, some appearing to study the humans' arrival with curiosity. When the shuttle touched down on a landing platform, the team was greeted by a group of Lumerian officials. They were taller than expected, their presence commanding yet calm. At their center stood the Princess Lyra, the daughter of the ruling council. Her eyes were deep pools of shimmering blue and green, and her aura radiated both nobility and fragility. "Welcome, humans," Lyra said, her voice melodic and clear. "We have awaited this day for a long time. Please follow us." The humans followed, walking carefully across the polished pathways. Elias felt a mixture of awe and unease. Every detail of the Lumerian world seemed designed to impress, but there was an undercurrent of tension he could sense, like a storm waiting to break. Inside the palace, they were led into a grand hall with ceilings that seemed to stretch into infinity. Light shimmered along the walls, reflecting colors that Elias couldn't name. Lumerian servants moved silently, offering refreshments in vessels that floated above their hands. The humans were shown to a seating area, while the council, led by the princess, gathered on an elevated platform. Lyra's presence was magnetic. As Elias studied her, he noticed something unusual. She moved more slowly than the others and occasionally placed a hand over her chest. Her breaths were shallow and a faint color drained from her luminous skin. It became immediately clear that the princess was not well. One of the council members, a tall Lumerian with silver hair, stepped forward. "Princess Lyra has been suffering from a rare illness," he said in halting human speech. "Our scientists have tried all known remedies, but nothing restores her fully. It is delicate." Elias felt a chill. Diplomacy was supposed to be about discussion and negotiation, not witnessing someone's suffering. But something inside him stirred, a mixture of empathy and resolve. He studied Lyra more closely, noting the subtle signs of fatigue, the weakness in her stance, and the slight tremor in her hands. "Perhaps there is a solution humans can offer," Elias said cautiously, thinking aloud. "Sometimes diseases or conditions respond to treatments or genetic material that are different from what one species can create themselves." The council members exchanged wary glances. The idea of involving humans in such a delicate matter was unprecedented. "It is dangerous," one said. "Our experiments with human biology are limited. We cannot risk the princess's life further." Lyra looked directly at Elias. There was something in her gaze that made him stop. Despite her weakness, her eyes carried a spark of intelligence, curiosity, and determination. "Captain Ward," she said softly, "I sense your intention. Humans are brave, perhaps too brave, but I trust your heart. If you have an offer, speak it." Elias hesitated, then made the decision that would change everything. "I can offer my blood," he said. "It may sound reckless, but if a human component can interact with your DNA, it might help your body heal." The room fell silent. The council members whispered among themselves, shocked. The Lumerians valued life above all, and the idea of sharing a human life force with their princess was almost unthinkable. Lyra reached out her hand. "Do it," she said, her voice steady. "I am ready to trust humanity." A medical team quickly prepared a sterile chamber. Elias rolled up his sleeve, feeling the weight of the moment. His mind raced with questions. Would this actually work? Was it safe? Could it change them in ways they could not foresee? But the look in Lyra's eyes, a mixture of hope and desperation, left no room for doubt. He was committed. The transfusion began. As Elias's blood entered Lyra's system, the room seemed to shift. A subtle vibration hummed through the air. Colors intensified, light bent slightly around the chamber, and a faint energy field appeared, visible only to those watching closely. The council members' mouths opened in astonishment. Lyra's breathing grew steadier and a faint glow emanated from her chest. Elias felt a tingling sensation spreading through his own body, a warmth that pulsed from his veins outward. He realized almost instinctively that the connection was more than biological. It was as if their very life forces were acknowledging each other. Minutes passed, though they felt like hours. The energy between them strengthened, and Lyra's color returned brighter than before. Her eyes shifted, revealing new colors and patterns like a prism reflecting hidden light. She slowly opened them fully and met Elias's gaze. I feel different," she whispered. Her voice carried more strength than before, and a subtle glow surrounded her hands. "I can think. Sees more clearly. What have you done?" Elias shook his head, equally stunned. "I don't know," he admitted. "I just offered my blood to help you. But it seems something more is happening." The council members stepped back, a mixture of awe and fear in their expressions. This was unprecedented. The human had not just saved the princess. He had triggered a reaction no Lumerian scientist had predicted. Outside the chamber, whispers spread quickly. The human, the princess, they are connected. Something extraordinary is happening. Elias and Lyra remained in the chamber, their hands lightly touching. It was more than a medical procedure now. It was a bridge between two species, a bond that transcended politics and tradition. For the first time in centuries, humanity and the Lumerians were united not by negotiation or fear, but by trust, courage, and the shared miracle of life itself. As the medical team monitored their vital signs, Elias realized that the real challenge was only beginning. The bond might save Lyra, but what would it mean for him? For humanity? For the fragile peace between species? The first signs were subtle. Princess Lyra awoke fully from the transfusion, her luminous eyes now reflecting new patterns of light like ribbons of color dancing within her irises. She sat up slowly in the chamber, her hands hovering above her body, unsure of the sensations coursing through her. Captain Elias Ward watched closely, concern and curiosity battling in his mind. His own body felt different too. A warmth lingered in his chest and limbs, a faint vibration that pulsed in time with Lyra's heartbeat. He had given his blood to save her life, but this reaction was more than he had expected. You feel it too, don't you?" Lyra whispered, her voice trembling with awe. She moved her fingers in the air, and for the first time, Elias noticed a faint shimmer like heat waves forming around her hands. Light responded to her movements, bending and curving in ways that defied the known laws of physics. Elias's heart raced. I do," he admitted. "Something is happening between us. It's not just your body healing, it's a connection." The medical team, who had been cautiously observing, took a step back. Their instruments were picking up unusual energy fluctuations. Heart rate stabilized, but readings of electromagnetic fields, energy output, and cellular activity showed a pattern they had never seen before. The human's blood had triggered a biological and energetic bond that neither species had ever recorded. Lyra tried to stand, but her body moved with a fluid grace she had never known before. Her steps were certain and light, her senses sharper. She tilted her head, noticing Elias's subtle movements before he made them, and she realized she could sense his intentions. His focus, even his thoughts in fragments. Elias, equally astonished, tested his own senses. He could feel Lyra's presence as a subtle vibration, a signal that was both emotional and physical. Her energy seemed to flow into him and his into her. It was as if two streams had merged into a single river, flowing with life and understanding. This is incredible, Elias said almost to himself. I never imagined a transfusion could create something like this. Lyra's lips curved in a faint smile. Neither did I, but I feel stronger, clearer, and yet connected. Like I can feel the world through both of us. She looked around the chamber, noticing instruments and screens responding differently than before, subtle distortions in light and energy that had no logical explanation. The council members arrived, their expressions a mixture of awe, fear, and disbelief. Whispers spread through the chamber. It is unprecedented, one elder said. A human has bonded with the princess, something no Lumerian has ever achieved in their history. Another council member stepped forward cautiously. But is it safe? Could this connection be harmful? Could it destabilize her or him? Elias shook his head. I don't think it's harmful. It's symbiotic. Her body needed my blood, and now our systems are connected in ways that benefit both of us. But we don't fully understand it yet. Lyra placed a hand over her chest. I can feel it. The energy inside me. It's different. My sickness. It's gone. I have new strength, new awareness, and I can sense you, Elias. Not just your presence, but your thoughts in small ways. It's like part of you flows into me. The council watched in silence, torn between admiration and fear. Lumerians were cautious, protective of their biology, and wary of human unpredictability. Yet here was undeniable proof that humanity had something unique to offer. Courage, creativity, and now, an unexpected biological gift. As the hours passed, Lyra experimented with her new abilities. She lifted objects without touching them, subtly manipulating energy fields that had previously required complex devices. She could sense the flow of life around her, plants, animals, even the currents in the city outside, and understand them in ways that no Lumerian had ever reported. Elias, meanwhile, noticed changes within himself. His reflexes sharpened, his perception widened. He could anticipate Lyra's movements before she made them, and occasionally glimpse her thoughts as if reading a faint whisper. The connection was mutual, and it was growing stronger by the minute. This bond, Elias said, watching Lyra lift a floating orb of light with effortless grace. It's not just healing, it's evolution. Something new is emerging for both of us. Lyra's expression grew thoughtful. And the council? They may not understand yet. They may fear what we are becoming. She paused, looking at him with determination. But we must prove that this bond can bring strength, not danger. Despite their excitement, tension simmered in the palace. Some council members viewed the bond with suspicion. Humans are unpredictable, one elder whispered to another. They are capable of courage, yes, but also of recklessness. What if this connection changes our princess in ways we cannot control? But others were quietly hopeful. If it works, said a younger council member, it could unite our species in ways we never thought possible. A human and the princess bonded. Perhaps there is a future for collaboration we never imagined. Over the next few days, Elias and Lyra trained together, testing the limits of their connection. They discovered that their bond enhanced both physical and mental abilities. Lyra could anticipate danger, predict patterns, and solve complex problems in seconds. Elias could think more clearly, react faster, and intuitively understand alien technology and systems. One evening, while standing on a balcony overlooking the violet oceans of the Lumerian world, Lyra spoke quietly. Do you realize what we are, Elias? This bond, it's not just between us. It's proof that humans and Lumerians can evolve together. We can create something greater than either of us alone. Elias looked at her, the wind gently brushing against their faces. I feel it too. But it's not just about power. It's about trust, understanding, and courage. Humans have survived against impossible odds because we are willing to act, to take risks for others. That's why this works. Lyra smiled, her aura shimmering in the twilight. Then we will show them. We will prove that our bond is a gift, not a threat. But the palace was not free of challenges. Rumors of the bond spread quickly, and with them came whispers of fear. Some citizens wondered if the connection would alter the princess, change her personality, or even give humans influence over Lumerian decisions. Others, however, saw hope. a symbol of unity between species, a potential turning point in galactic history. Elias knew they had to move carefully. "We cannot let fear guide us," he told Lyra. "Our actions must show them that this is strength used for good. We can't just heal or enhance ourselves. We have to help others too." Lyra nodded. "And we will, together." Over the next week, the bond continued to evolve. Lyra's abilities expanded. She could heal minor injuries, stabilize energy fields in the palace, and manipulate the environment to protect citizens from accidents. Elias assisted, learning to work with her abilities, combining human ingenuity with her Lumerian energy control. The council began to take notice. Their initial fear shifted into cautious curiosity. "Perhaps humans are more capable than we believed," one elder admitted. "Perhaps this connection is a sign of future collaboration." Yet not everyone welcomed this change. Some traditionalists whispered that a human had tainted the royal line, that such a bond was unnatural. Elias and Lyra were unaware of these murmurs, focused instead on learning from each other and understanding the true potential of their connection. One night, while examining the energy patterns their bond produced, Elias realized something astonishing. "Lyra, our bond is not just healing or strength. It's creating new possibilities. I can feel new pathways forming in both our minds. This could change the course of human evolution." Lyra's eyes widened. "You mean we could help humans and Lumerians both become something more?" "Yes," Elias said, his voice filled with awe. "Something greater than either of us alone. And it starts with trust, courage, and the willingness to act." As they stood side by side, watching the stars above their city, both knew the road ahead would not be easy. Fear, opposition, and unforeseen challenges awaited them. But for the first time, humanity had not just survived in the galaxy. It had become a force of hope and transformation. The first step of their incredible journey was complete. A human had given his. The bond between Elias and Princess Lyra had begun to amaze everyone in the Lumerian capital. Citizens marveled at the princess's newfound strength and abilities, while scientists eagerly observed the human-alien symbiosis. Yet not everyone was impressed. In the high chambers of the royal palace, a group of Lumerian council members convened in secret. Their faces were stern, their voices low. "This human, this Captain Ward, he is dangerous," whispered one elder. "He has bonded with the princess. It is unprecedented. Our people cannot trust what we do not understand." Another council member shook his head. "You speak as though he is a threat, but he saved her life. His blood restored the princess, and now she thrives. Humans are remarkable." "Remarkable?" the elder spat. "Or reckless. We do not know the limits of this connection. What if it destabilizes her? Or worse, what if it allows humans to influence Lumerian decisions through her? Tradition is clear. The royal line must remain pure." Meanwhile, Elias and Lyra had been exploring their bond further. They spent hours together, testing the limits of their abilities. Lyra could manipulate energy fields with incredible precision, while Elias discovered he could anticipate and synchronize with her movements almost instinctively. Their cooperation allowed them to perform tasks neither could do alone. One morning, while practicing near the palace gardens, Lyra noticed a subtle shift in the energy around them. "Elias," she said cautiously, "someone is watching us. I feel tension. Not from the council necessarily, but from someone outside our circle." Elias squinted toward the palace gates. "You might be right. Lumerians are curious, and curiosity can turn to fear quickly." It wasn't long before the first act of hostility occurred. A Lumerian official, driven by fear of the bond, attempted to interfere with their activities. He tried to block their access to a key energy research facility, claiming it was too dangerous for humans. Lyra's reaction was immediate. "I cannot allow harm to come to him," she said firmly, stepping forward. With a wave of her hand, she redirected a flowing energy field, creating a shield that prevented the official from entering. Elias watched, amazed at the control she now had over Lumerian energy, and realized that her bond with him amplified not just her strength, but her confidence and authority. The incident sparked whispers across the capital. Some Lumerians praised the duo for demonstrating courage and innovation. Others whispered of rebellion, fear, and the unknown consequences of mixing human and Lumerian life forces. One evening, as Elias and Lyra returned to their quarters, a sudden alarm echoed through the palace. Security protocols activated and the halls were quickly filled with guards. The human captain looked at Lyra, concern flashing in his eyes. "What's happening?" "It seems someone is attempting to breach the palace," Lyra replied. "I can feel their presence outside. They are skilled, trained, not ordinary citizens. This is deliberate." The attack was swift. A small group of masked Lumerians had infiltrated the outer defenses, moving with the precision of trained operatives. Their target was clear: Elias. They wanted to separate him from Lyra, believing the bond was unnatural and potentially dangerous to the royal family. Elias instinctively moved closer to Lyra. "We can't fight them alone, but we can use what we've learned together." Lyra nodded. Energy flowed around her hands, creating a protective barrier as Elias helped stabilize it. Together they moved through the corridors, anticipating the intruders' every move. Each strike from the attackers was met with precise counteractions, their bond allowing them to act as a single unit. In the main hall, the intruders cornered them. But Lyra, now fully confident in her abilities, extended her energy control beyond her own body. She manipulated the environment, lifting heavy objects and creating obstacles that slowed the attackers. Elias used his quick thinking and human ingenuity to set traps, redirect energy flows, and anticipate each ambush. Despite the danger, the two emerged victorious. The intruders were captured and restrained without injury. Yet the incident was a stark reminder. Fear and opposition were not just whispers behind closed doors, they could turn into action. The council convened immediately afterward. "This human-alien bond, it is disruptive," one elder said, his voice trembling with restrained anger. "We cannot allow it to continue unchecked. The princess has become too reliant on him. It is unnatural." Lyra stood tall, her aura shimmering. "Unnatural? No. It is necessary. He saved my life, and together, we have achieved things neither humans nor Lumerians could accomplish alone. Our bond is not a threat. It is a gift, a chance to grow stronger, to unite our species." Elias added carefully, "We understand your caution, but fear cannot dictate the future. Cooperation, trust, and courage are what will guide both our civilizations. This bond is not about dominance or control. It is about partnership." The debate grew heated, but not all council members opposed them. Some recognized the undeniable benefits of their bond. "If humans can contribute to our survival and innovation," one said, "then perhaps we have underestimated them. Perhaps this is the beginning of a new era." Outside the palace, rumors spread through the city like wildfire. Citizens spoke of the princess who could control energy, the human who had saved her, and the bond that might change the galaxy. Some were inspired, seeing hope in the collaboration of species. Others were frightened, believing it could disrupt tradition or even threaten their way of life. Elias and Lyra knew the challenges were far from over. Their connection had saved the princess and demonstrated human potential, but it had also exposed them to political intrigue, fear, and opposition. They needed a plan, not just to defend themselves, but to show the Lumerians that their bond was a force for good. One night, Elias stood on a balcony overlooking the city with Lyra. The twin moons cast a soft glow reflecting off the shimmering oceans. "We've proven we can survive together," he said. "But survival isn't enough. We need to show them what our bond can accomplish. That humans and Lumerians together are stronger." Lyra nodded, her eyes reflecting the moons. "We will. But first we must understand the limits of our connection. The attackers tonight, they were skilled, more than ordinary operatives. There are those who will try again. We must be ready, and we must be smart." In the following days they trained and studied together. Lyra refined her energy manipulation, learning to control environmental forces with precision. Elias developed Strategies that combined human tactical thinking with her new abilities. Each challenge they faced strengthened their bond, deepened their trust, and sharpened their skills. Yet the shadow of opposition remained. Some council members plotted in secret, determined to sever the bond they could not comprehend. They believed separating Elias from Lyra was the only way to maintain tradition and control. Elias and Lyra were aware of the whispers but refused to let fear dictate their actions. The city of Lumeria had never seen anything like the partnership between Princess Lyra and Captain Elias Ward. Word of their bond spread quickly, and curiosity replaced fear in many hearts. Citizens whispered about the human who had saved the princess and the extraordinary abilities she now possessed. Slowly, the idea began to take root. Perhaps humans and Lumerians could achieve greatness together. Elias and Lyra decided to demonstrate the potential of their bond through action. The Palace Council gave them permission to oversee a series of projects aimed at improving the city's infrastructure. Energy conduits that had long been unstable were repaired with ease. Floating transportation platforms were recalibrated to respond to minimal energy input, reducing power consumption and accidents. Citizens watched in amazement as the human-alien duo worked in perfect synchrony, their bond visible through subtle energy patterns that shimmered whenever they acted. "It's incredible," said Mara Chen, Elias's second-in-command, as she observed from a balcony. "Their connection isn't just physical. It's strategic. They anticipate each other, almost like they can read one another's thoughts." Lyra smiled as she manipulated a field of energy to stabilize a power conduit. Elias moved beside her, redirecting excess energy safely into the city's grid. Together, their actions were seamless, a perfect blend of human ingenuity and Lumerian energy control. Outside the palace, citizens began to gather, cheering the duo's accomplishments. Families pointed to the glowing fields and floating objects, their children's eyes wide with wonder. For the first time, humans were not seen as fragile or limited. They were capable, courageous, and above all indispensable. But Elias and Lyra understood that public admiration was not enough. To secure lasting peace and collaboration, they had to address the lingering skepticism among the council and factions of the population. One morning, Lyra approached Elias with a determined look. "We need to show them that our bond benefits more than just us. It must help the people directly. Only then will fear turn into trust." Elias nodded. "I agree, but we need a challenge. Something significant that proves humans and Lumerians working together can accomplish what neither could alone." Their opportunity arrived sooner than expected. A massive storm, unlike any in recorded Lumerian history, threatened the city. Energy surges caused by violent wind currents and lightning bolts disrupted the floating platforms, damaged buildings, and endangered citizens. The palace alarms blared and chaos rippled through the streets. Lyra's eyes met Elias's. "This is it. We have to act together, now." Using her enhanced abilities, Lyra extended energy shields around critical areas, stabilizing floating platforms and redirecting dangerous surges. Elias coordinated emergency evacuation efforts, using human problem-solving skills to anticipate areas of high risk and reroute citizens to safety. The two moved through the city like a single entity. Lyra's energy manipulation neutralized hazards almost before they could occur, while Elias's quick thinking allowed them to respond to unpredictable complications. Bridges swayed dangerously under the storm, and Elias calculated the precise timing needed to redirect energy flows, keeping both citizens and infrastructure intact. By nightfall, the storm had passed. The city stood largely unharmed, thanks to the coordinated efforts of the human and princess. Citizens poured into the streets cheering and praising their heroes. Murmurs of fear and doubt among the council were replaced with admiration and tentative acceptance. One elder approached Lyra privately, his tone respectful but cautious. "Princess Captain Ward, your actions today have saved countless lives. Perhaps this bond is not a threat. Perhaps it is a gift." Lyra inclined her head. "It is more than a gift. It is proof that collaboration between humans and Lumerians can achieve what neither species could alone. We must continue to work together for the good of all." Elias, standing beside her, added, "This is only the beginning. If humans and Lumerians combine courage, intelligence, and energy in harmony, there is no limit to what we can achieve." The success of the storm response inspired new projects. Together, Elias and Lyra worked to improve environmental systems, stabilize energy networks, and develop innovations that neither species could have created alone. Lumerian engineers learned from human methods, while human scientists absorbed advanced Lumerian knowledge. Each project demonstrated the strength of unity and the potential of collaboration. However, not all council members were convinced. Some feared that humans might gain too much influence or that the bond could evolve in ways that would challenge traditional authority. These factions attempted to undermine the duo by spreading rumors or questioning the methods used during the storm response. Elias understood that persuasion alone was not enough. They needed a visible, undeniable example of what their bond could achieve for the entire world. He proposed a daring project, repairing a failing energy reactor that supplied the outer city. The reactor was unstable and conventional methods had failed to fix it. "Are you certain?" Lyra asked. "It's risky. One mistake could destroy the reactor and endanger thousands." Elias smiled. "We've faced worse together. Our bond allows us to anticipate each other. We can do this." Over the next days, they worked tirelessly. Lyra manipulated energy flows to stabilize the reactor core, while Elias recalibrated controls and monitored structural integrity. The process was intense, requiring perfect synchronization and complete trust. Citizens watched from a safe distance, their hopes resting on the success of the human and princess. Finally, the reactor hummed steadily, energy flowing evenly throughout the outer city. Lights illuminated the streets, vehicles floated safely, and citizens cheered their heroes. The council could no longer deny the impact of the bond. Humans were not just visitors or diplomats. They were partners, innovators, and protectors. Lyra turned to Elias, her eyes shimmering. "Do you see it?" "They are beginning to understand," Elias nodded. "Yes, and this is just the start. Humans can contribute more than you imagined. We have courage, creativity, and determination that can complement your abilities. Together we are stronger than any one species alone." The days that followed were filled with collaboration and discovery. Joint human-Lumerian teams tackled environmental restoration, energy optimization, and infrastructure innovation. Children studied the bond between Elias and Lyra with fascination, dreaming of a future where humans and Lumerians worked side by side. As their influence grew, the remaining council skeptics began to soften. "Perhaps we misjudged humans," admitted one elder during a council meeting. "Their courage, intelligence, and willingness to act for the good of others are remarkable. This bond, it may indeed be the beginning of a new era." Lyra smiled, knowing the real work had just begun. "It is not enough to save one city or one princess. We must show that unity can extend to all worlds, that humans and Lumerians together can bring progress and hope across the galaxy." Elias agreed, "And it will. Every action, every innovation, every life we touch together will prove that humanity is not limited to survival. We can thrive, contribute, and inspire. The galaxy will see what humans are truly capable of." The bond between human and princess became a symbol. It represented courage in the face of fear, trust in the unknown, and the power of collaboration across species. Citizens, engineers, and scientists alike were inspired by what humans could achieve. And slowly, admiration replaced suspicion. By the end of the month, Lumeria had changed. Energy networks were stabilized. The days following the successful stabilization of Lumeria's energy systems were filled with hope and optimism. Citizens celebrated the partnership between humans and Lumerians, seeing Elias and Princess Lyra as symbols of courage and unity. Yet beneath the celebrations, both knew that their bond held secrets even they had yet to uncover. One morning, while studying the energy flows in the palace laboratory, Elias noticed something unusual. The bond between him and Lyra was expanding, reaching farther than he had realized. He could feel not just Lyra's energy, but subtle connections to the world around her, the plants, the air currents, even the movements of citizens in distant parts of the city. "Lyra," he said, a mixture of awe and concern in his voice, "our bond, it's changing. It's not limited to just us. I can feel the world through you. It's like your energy is amplifying my own senses." Lyra looked at him, her eyes shimmering with the same multicolored light that had first appeared after the transfusion. "I've noticed it too. I can feel more than before, not just life, but patterns, structures, and energy flows. It's as if the universe is responding to us." The palace scientists observing them were stunned. Instruments recorded unprecedented readings. New energy patterns forming in both human and Lumerian systems. Subtle vibrations linking life and matter across the city. They whispered among themselves, realizing that this bond could unlock potentials never thought possible. One scientist approached cautiously. "Princess Lyra, Captain Ward, this connection is more than biological. It seems to enhance perception, cognition, and perhaps even evolution. Your bond could be the key to advancing both species beyond what we imagined." Lyra's face reflected a mixture of surprise and determination. "Then we must understand it. We must explore its limits carefully. Humanity has proven courage and creativity. Now we must prove wisdom as well." Elias agreed. "Yes, and we have to act responsibly. Whatever this is, it could change everything. For Lumerians, humans, and the galaxy itself." Days turned into weeks as they experimented cautiously. Lyra discovered she could stabilize not just energy systems, but even minor anomalies in the city's environment. Elias found his human senses were sharper, his problem-solving faster, and his intuition about complex systems nearly flawless. The bond was transforming them both, enhancing abilities in ways that defied current understanding. One afternoon, a messenger arrived from a distant planet, carrying urgent news. A neighboring system faced a catastrophic failure in its planetary shields, threatening millions of lives. Normally, it would take weeks for any intervention. But Elias and Lyra realized that together, they could respond far faster than conventional methods allowed. "We have to help them," Elias said, urgency in his voice. "Our bond. It might be the only way to save them in time." Lyra nodded. "Then we go. Humanity and Lumerians together. We act for good." They entered a specially prepared shuttle, its systems calibrated to work in harmony with their bond. As they traveled, Lyra extended her energy perception outward, stabilizing the ship's trajectory and shielding it from cosmic anomalies. Elias worked at the control systems, coordinating navigation, monitoring structural integrity, and ensuring efficiency. When they arrived, the devastation was clear. The planetary shields flickered dangerously, and storms of energy threatened to tear the surface apart. Ground-based teams struggled to maintain control, but without intervention, the planet faced annihilation. Lyra extended her energy to the shield generators, synchronizing with Elias's actions. He directed the energy flows, amplifying them through the bond they shared. Together they formed a network that stabilized the shields, repairing damaged nodes almost instantly. Citizens on the planet's surface watched in awe as the energy fields shimmered and strengthened, their lives saved by the human and princess working together. The scientists and leaders on the planet were stunned. "We've never seen anything like this," one exclaimed. "A human and an alien, coordinating to save a world. It's miraculous." Elias looked at Lyra, exhausted but elated. This is what I always hoped humans could do. Not just survive or explore, but truly make a difference across the stars." Lyra's eyes reflected the planet's light, radiant and alive. "And we have only begun. Imagine what humanity could achieve if this bond, this courage, and this creativity were applied across the galaxy." The rescue operation became legendary. News spread across star systems. Humans were no longer a minor species, reliant on others for protection or guidance. Humans were partners, innovators, and heroes capable of extraordinary courage and intelligence. Back on Lumeria, the council convened once more. Even the most skeptical members had to acknowledge the truth. "This human, Elias Ward, has proven himself beyond doubt," said one elder. "And the bond with Princess Lyra. It is a force for good, for progress, and for unity. Perhaps we have underestimated humanity." Lyra turned to Elias, her aura glowing faintly. "Do you see? They are beginning to understand. They see what we always knew, that humans are capable of greatness not just in battle or survival, but in vision, courage, and collaboration." Elias smiled. "Yes, and this is just the beginning. Humanity has potential far beyond what we imagined. Our actions today can inspire future generations, human and Lumerian alike, to work together and reach heights we've never dreamed of." The bond between human and princess began to attract attention from across the galaxy. Scientists, diplomats, and explorers traveled to study them, hoping to learn from the extraordinary connection. They realized that the symbiosis between Elias and Lyra not only healed and enhanced, but could also unlock latent potential within humanity itself, accelerating human evolution and capability. Lyra and Elias became ambassadors of unity. Their bond symbolized the power of courage, trust, and collaboration. It inspired humans and aliens alike to push beyond fear, challenge limitations, and embrace the unknown with boldness. One evening, as they stood on the palace balcony overlooking the glowing city of Lumeria, Elias reflected on the journey. It all began with a single choice: to give my blood to save you. And yet look at what it has become. Not just healing, but hope. Not just a bond, but a bridge. Lyra placed her hand over his, and it will continue. Humanity has shown what it can do when guided by courage, empathy, and intelligence. We've proven that even one act of bravery can ripple across the stars and change the course of history. The stars above shimmered as if in agreement. In that moment, it was clear. The human species had arrived, not as visitors, not as subjects, but as equals, capable of extraordinary courage, creativity, and leadership. The Council of Lumeria, citizens, and even neighboring worlds began to see the same truth. Humanity was no longer to be underestimated. Through Elias's courage and Lyra's trust, humans had become a force of hope and progress in the galaxy. The final revelation came when the bond's full potential became apparent. Elias and Lyra discovered that their connection allowed humans to unlock abilities previously dormant within their species. Heightened cognition, advanced problem-solving, and a subtle understanding of energy systems that had once seemed beyond their grasp.